Hey, I'm Dawn Herring, founder of Refresh with Dawn Herring, as I said before. And I am an artist. I love to play with watercolor. And I also keep a journal. And I host Journal Chat Live on social media. Been doing that for 5 years. Actually, more like 6 years. But anyway, that's for those for people who either keep a journal or want to. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus and obviously Periscope. And I'm just really excited that you've joined me. Thank you so much for joining me, Cindy. Great to see you. Great to have everybody join me today. I'm so glad to see everyone. I hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. And I want to talk to you about the different things that I do creatively that really keep me inspired and really refresh me, because to me that's really, really, really important to be refreshed every single day. And I also have my dawnherring.net is my URL at my website, and there you can find my Refresh Daily blog. And the reason why I call it Refresh Daily is because I always think it's a good idea to refresh yourself every single day. No excuses, no guilt needed, nothing like that at all. We all deserve to do something every day that we love to do, no matter what it is. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as you're happy when you're doing it and that it makes you feel good and that you're excited and that it inspires you and lifts you and makes you feel good. Thank you so much for the hearts, guys. I appreciate that very much. So, I'm going to talk to you about all the little things that I do, or big things, however you want to view it, that I do in my creative practice. And you're welcome. Oh, thank you so much more for the hearts. I really appreciate that very, very much. And so, I'm going to talk to you first about my journal keeping practice, because I do that a lot. As a matter of fact, when I first started doing it, it was very sporadic. And, but now that, where I am now, I've progressed dramatically over the years. I've been at it for, 28 or 29 years that I've been keeping a journal. And, the one thing that I want to say about journal keeping for me is that it has taken many years of time for me to build it up to where it is today. So in case you don't keep a journal or you want to keep a journal, don't think that how I do it, oh, I could never do it that way kind of thing, because I know that it's a real commitment. So, but for me, it's something that I absolutely adore doing. I really do. Journaling is one of my favorite things in the world to do. And I usually do an AM journal entry, and I also do a PM journal entry. And what I do with my journaling is I basically write about everything. That's really what it comes down to. It's a whole hodgepodge of anything you could possibly think of. It's amazing to me how much my journal keeping practice means to me and what it helps me do every single day. It keeps me organized. It helps me be accountable for things that I want to get accomplished. It helps me prepare for the next day and what I want to do as far as my painting and that sort of thing goes. And my evening journal entry, I think, is even more fun, because that's where I do my evening doodle. I started doing a doodle about 1.5 years ago. I took a course where I was encouraged to do a doodle a day. And for several years, I had been writing a word or a phrase in my evening entry. Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate that. In my evening entry, and I just wrote it down as a word, just to kind of summarize what I was feeling during that day. And so when I was encouraged to do the doodle, I decided to take that word that I've been doing in the evening like that, to summarize my day. And I decided to actually use that word or phrase and just create a doodle with it. And oh my gosh, that is so much fun. I cannot tell you how fun that has been for me. And I also, I try to make the doodle look like the word, like say if it's flat or, just something that, I try to make the doodle look like what it actually means, which is really challenging sometimes to do, but I have so much fun with it. I really do. So my evening doodle actually, I think I like that even more than the journaling process, which is really funny because it gives me the chance to relax, Thank you so much for the hearts. It gives me a chance to really think about my day and then to honor it visually with a doodle. And if you want to see an example of a doodle that I have on my blog, you can go to Refresh with Dawn Herring at dawnherring.net and then go to Refresh Daily Blog. And in the categories on the side of the page, if you go to Doodle Dynamics, go to Doodle Dynamics, and my doodles that I have already featured on my blog will be on there. And I actually talk about how I do the doodle and what I was thinking about when I made it. So if you want to see an actual example of it, because it's in my personal journal, so I don't really want to open that up here on a live broadcast. But anyway, so you are welcome to check that out if you'd like to see my doodle. But you know, I also can show you a doodle that I did on cardstock the other day. It's actually kind of like a little poster. So let me click on the screen here, and I will show you. Let me see if I try that again. It's not working very well. Okay. Okay, double tap. Okay, for those. Thank you. I must have had to do that 6 or 7 times. Okay, I'm going to take this little poster down so that you can see my little poster doodle. It says, create your own happy ending. Yes, I had a lot of fun with that. I decided, you know, if I love the doodles so much in my journal, maybe I should do more of it on cardstock. So I decided to just make a little poster that says, create your own happy ending. I had so much fun with this. And that's one of the things that I love about doodling. It gives me the chance to really, like, draw without any expectation. It's a very relaxing process for me. It gives me the chance to create and design and use color in different ways without having to concern myself about how it's going to turn out. I just have a good time with it. And that's why I highly recommend doodling. Okay, I'm going to switch back to, there we go. Okay, that was an example of one of my doodles. Okay, now that I talked about journaling and doodling, I'm going to talk to you about my art journaling process, which is also part of my creative practice. So I'm going to bring you over to my art journal table, which is in my studio here. And I'm going to turn the light on so that you can see. And I already have this particular one featured on my blog. We're at Refresh Daily. And here we are. This is my art journal table. And this is my latest spread that I've shared on my blog already. Follow the Yellow Brick Road. And my art journal is a great place for me to express my heart and to create visuals and to just have fun with color and paint. I use praying watercolor in my art journal since I'm just playing in there, and I also enjoy having the time to just have fun with it. I'll switch back. So that's my art journal, and I don't do it every day. It's something that I do enjoy, but I don't do it every day. I do it a couple times a week maybe, and sometimes the spread takes up to 3 or 4 weeks for me to finish because my watercolor painting, which is my next one that I want to talk about, is actually even more important to me than my art journal. Although my art journal has its place, you know, where it helps me to process things and think about what's going on with my life and that sort of thing. So it's a very valuable tool for me as an artist, and it's a great place to experiment and to do things that I enjoy doing in there, you know, playing with paint and stencils and, you know, things of that nature. And so I do that, but I don't do it every day. I know a lot of people who do one every day. You know, they do like a page a day in their art journal, and wow, I admire people who do that. But I guess because I have so many other things that I do as well that, you know, I just, you know, I don't see it as necessary for me to do that. So anyway, I did want to talk to you about my watercolor practice, because that to me is one of my absolute favorite things to do. Every single day. I decided a year and a half ago that I was going to paint with watercolor every single day without fail. And I have seen it as something really, really important for me to do, and I really love doing it. I love watercolor. I just discovered watercolor about 6 years ago, and I do watercolor paintings, intuitive watercolor paintings, where I just put dots of color on the page and see where it takes me. And it has been a fascinating journey, and I love doing it every single day. So, I did have a painting that I can show you, one of my favorites, that showcases my, I think I had something in the way there, didn't I? That, guys. This is one of my watercolor paintings. I actually have it in a protective sleeves, so if you see a little glare, that's why. This particular painting is called Rooted. I have it featured on my art gallery at dawnherring.net. But this is one of my favorite watercolor paintings that I've done. Just thought I would show you an example of what I do. And I basically do my watercolor paintings in the evening after I've signed off line from my daily work. And I just have a really great time relaxing. Sometimes I listen to my Spotify music, and I just have a great time putting color on the page and seeing where it takes me. So that. And I also wanted to talk about my walks. Yes, my walk is, to me, part of my creative practice because it gives me time to get some fresh air, and I also, oftentimes I get very inspired by the birds and the squirrels and, nature, and I see things that are very visually inspiring, so I take a lot of photos, and I just have a really, really great time doing that. So my walk is part of my creative practice. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that I do have a spiritual practice that I follow as well. I won't get into detail on that on this particular broadcast, but without that, I don't think my creative practice would be as fulfilling as it is. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about today, was my journaling, my art journaling, my doodling, my watercolor painting, my walks. With all of those things that I try to do every single day, or at least, it's a regular part of my routine or part of my lifestyle, that's basically what I'm talking about with a creative practice. So, I thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast today, and I look forward to doing follow-up ones to get into a little more detail, if you're interested, with how I keep a journal, or, the different processes that I use when I create a watercolor painting, etc., and as well as my doodles. So thanks so much for joining me today. It was great to have everybody aboard. I really appreciate everybody who joined me live today, and anybody who is on the replay as well. I welcome you too. So you have a fabulous day. Make sure you refresh yourself, okay? Do something that you really, really, really like to do, because it's so vitally important.